Imagine for a moment that people are so salty that someone they don't like had a mega successful crowdfunding campaign that these people collude to block that person from selling his product in stores. Imagine the balls, the tiny, poppy seed, steroid shrunken balls it takes to do something so petty. Then imagine that we're talking about a fucking comic book. Wait, you don't have to imagine, because that's what actually happened. I haven't seen anything this retarded since the left tried to boycott Chick-fil-A. Okay, so here's what happened. YouTuber Diversity in Comics, government name Dixon Minijaws, ran a successful Indiegogo campaign for his comic book Jawbreaker's Lost Souls. It wasn't just a success. The man asked for $5,000, and as of the making of this video, he has $216,000. That's about 4,000 times the amount of money he asked for, and it's only been backed by barely 6,000 people. With the art by John Malin and the colors by Brett Smith, the book sells itself. If you follow DNC, Malin, or Smith online, then you know that every day this thing would jump a couple of grand. That shows that there's interest in the book, and yet there's been zero coverage of the campaign by comic book media. Now, they don't always cover crowdfunded books, but when you have one getting this much support, it's weird that nobody talked about it. Nobody interviewed any of them. Even the usually mouthy far-left comic book crowd were dead silent. Well, until publisher Antarctic Press announced that they would publish Jawbreaker's Lost Soul in September. Then everybody suddenly had something to say, especially comic book retailers. Now, I'm going to use screen caps here just to prove I'm not making any of this shit up, because it sounds like total BS when you say it out loud. A bunch of comic book retailers held a super secret Legion of Doom session in a Facebook group where they planned to refuse to carry Jawbreakers or special order it for customers who requested it. I'm not making this up. Here it is. Bruno Batista. So, any of the publishers here the ones putting out the Diversity in Comics book? And then we get this follow-up. I thought he was all Kickstarter. No, that's Indiegogo, honey. Pay attention. But if I'm wrong, I will 100% drag any publisher interacting with them in a professional capacity. Respect. I count on doing the same. Drag and dunk as loudly as possible. And I'm real loud. This is 100% real. Here you have a bunch of comic book retailers saying they won't carry a book because they don't like the person who wrote it. None of them know anything about the book. They don't know what it's about. They don't know what the art looks like, the genre, nothing. All they know is that evil alt-right Richard C. Meyer, whose name must be spoken in full for some reason, wrote the book, and the book must not be allowed in their stores. Never mind that people might want to buy the book. Never mind that plenty of these stores have no problem carrying hate-filled anti-Trump comics or terrible porn like The Pervert. These books are fine, even if the last one was written by a person who made thinly veiled threats against DNC's son. That's fine. We'll carry those books, but not this one. And if someone asks the shops to order the books for them, quote, you say, sorry, we don't carry that book, and leave it at that. Just because someone subs something doesn't mean they're going to buy it. I'd need 100% prepayment to even consider it. I'm with Aaron. This would be a full deposit upfront title. We have a few others on that list already, so it's not unprecedented. I will not order or stock this product regardless of special orders, and I will let whoever publishes it exactly, I think you mean know exactly what I think about them. So, what these folks decided to do was start going after Antarctic Press, saying that they were going to refuse to carry any of the books published by the publisher. Mind you, this is the same publisher that released several left-leaning, positive Obama comics to no one's complaint. They published comics supportive and critical of Trump. The political-themed books make up a small fraction of what they publish, so shutting them out of stores is a petty move. But it gets worse. In comes Mark Wade. He says,
We have called into Antarctic Press. Oh yes, precious, we did. Until we hear back, we're hesitantly willing to give them the benefit of doubt that they really don't understand who or what they're getting into business with. If we do hear back, we will see. Oh yes, precious, we will see.
Shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? So let me get this straight. This fool goes on and claims that DNC encouraged his fans to threaten employees of stores and to harass stores that don't order the product. That's not what happened. What happened is he put out a video saying he wasn't going to name these folks and then basically changed his mind. If anybody had any information about that, put it out there. This isn't harassment, sweetheart. This is exactly what you would do, Mark Waid, if you found out that there was a publisher that was refusing to publish something by somebody who was gay, or black, or female, or trans. You'd put their information out there so everybody knows who they are. If there were stores refusing to carry the products because of who made the product, and it was someone that you supported, or just an issue that you didn't have a problem with, you'd tell everybody who they were. This is exactly what the left did with Chick-fil-A. It just blew up in their faces. So, after Mark Waid did this, I suspect he made the rounds behind the scenes, contacting people he knew to have them contact Antarctic Press. And ironically, while complaining about harassment and threats, basically harassed and threatened Antarctic Press into not publishing Jawbreaker's Lost Souls. Antarctic Press put out this statement. After careful consideration, it is the decision of Antarctic Press to not release the comic series Jawbreakers. Antarctic Press is a staunch believer in creators' rights and giving creators a chance to showcase their creation and allowing that creation to be judged on its merits. Many forces, many of them should be viewed with great trepidation about how our society acts, have led us to this decision. We would not take this decision lightly, as we do believe that there should be separation between art and artists, and that separation has been blurred in our decision. We appreciate all our supporters and detractors in this process. Thank you for taking the time to read our statement. The statement will be removed in 7 days. Okay, so let me parse this for you so you understand what they're saying. Basically, they got bullied to the point that more likely than not, they were having retailers, possibly even someone like Diamond, saying, "We won't carry your books if you publish them and try to distribute them, if you publish this book." So, just to recap, the people bitching about being harassed a publisher to the point that they pulled a book just so that they can maintain their business. The book is sight unseen. Nobody knows what's in the book. They're doing this solely because people do not like diversity in comics. Mind you, these folks have been after this man for a year, an entire year, and they don't have shit on him. Anything they had that could take this man out, they'd have done it already. They accuse him of being homophobic? Nothing. Transphobic? Nothing. Against women? Nothing. Racist? Nothing. You have zero evidence. But here's the bigger point. This could break the SJW cabal in comic books. And here's why. They're putting a spotlight on their antics. By doing this to Antarctic Press, all that's going to do is get more attention. Not by the comic book media, but by right-wing media. This will get picked up by somebody like PJ Media, or spread by somebody like Ian Miles Chong, and now it's got greater reach. Get this across the screen to somebody like Sargon of Akkad, and you got even more attention. Take it a step further and get it to someone like Dave Rubin. Even if he just tweets about it, that's a whole other level. Now you've got the chances of this reaching somebody like Ben Shapiro or Milo Yiannopoulos. Just one of them casually mentioning this will fuck up your day. You don't understand the game you're playing. You guys have tried this before. You tried this with Gamergate, and you tried this with Milo, and it blew up in your faces both times. Let's go with the Gamergate one, because that one's the easier one. Feminists got pissy about GTA 5 and got it pulled from targets in Australia. All it did was shift the business elsewhere and sell thousands of more games, because it made people remember the game was still out. These folks went after Milo, after he had his little incident at the beginning of February last year. Simon & Schuster refused to publish his book. He created his own publishing company, self-published the book. Amazon could barely fulfill the orders. People would go into bookstores, and they weren't carrying the book. Stores like Barnes & Noble. What happened? Milo told people to go in and film themselves asking for the book. They'd go in, they'd ask for it, and the folks would admit, "We don't have it." Milo did it himself. He brought all this attention to it that Barnes & Noble broke down and started carrying the book. This is what you're going to do. You're going to bring in all this media attention to this situation that you bullied a publisher out of publishing a book by lying. And if you look at the statement that Antarctic Press put out, they didn't throw DNC under the bus. They basically implied that they were doing this because of the pressure coming at them from behind the scenes. So here's what's going to happen with this, potentially. This gets picked up by the conservative press. You have to remember, these folks don't know anything about comic books. They know one comic book company, the one owned by the mouse. And once this stuff starts to spread, how long do you think it's going to take before someone prominent says, don't go see the next Avengers film because comics are anti-conservative? Y'all keep forgetting that while the left is good at fear-mongering, the right actually knows how to make shit happen. This is not a game you want to play because you run the risk of fucking with Disney shit, and the mouse don't play. I'm not saying that's gonna happen, just that this is how far this could go. You don't actually have any control over this. You think you do, but you don't. All you're gonna do is sell more Jawbreaker comics, and you're gonna make yourselves look like bigger assholes. And seriously, if they got any bigger, we're gonna have to call in Benjamin motherfucking Sisko because the Dominion is coming. Now I know what they're gonna do. They're gonna go, oh well, DNC, he's homophobic. Okay, well then everybody will show R.B. Citizen's 9/11 tweet. End of that. You'll call him transphobic, and we'll show Magdalene Basaggio and Michelle Perez's violent tweets. Oh, he's harassing people. Okay, well there's this Facebook group session where comic book writers colluded to try to harass him at conventions, including threatening to assault him. This is a stupid move. It works in the short term. In the long term, this gets picked up by right-wing media. You are fucked. Because it will reveal exactly what you guys are doing. You are losing. You know you're losing. You have zero control over this. You think you've hurt him. You've done nothing. Those books were not in print. They were not in stores. You're going, oh, well, he didn't get with the publisher. Doesn't matter. He could self-publish. He could continue to do crowdfunding and have total control over it, get all the money to him and to the other creators. You have zero ability to stop him from making comics or to stop people from buying his comics. All you're going to do is get him more money and more attention. And you're going to get so wrecked, you'll look like you got fisted with the Infinity Gauntlet. Stupid move. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.